I could do this entire thing so silently.
I know.
Justin Warner here with comedian, actor, and all-around excellent person, Julie Klausner, and today, we are gonna eat the universe. Julie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I gotta apologize, because today we're talking about Captain America. And Captain America is the man out of time. And that time, unfortunately, is the 1940s, where the world is at war for now the second time. So today...
By the way, I accept your apology.
Thanks. Today, we're going to talk about how shortage often leads to some curious inventions and ultimately to deliciousness.
At first it was ambiguous, but it ended on a positive note.
Well, ultimately, the deliciousness is your decision.
Oh, okay. So it's subjective.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, fair enough.
The nature of the biz. You
Right,
know what I
as
mean?
is war.
So this is a beef tongue.
Oh no. I'm just gonna make eye contact with you and pretend that that's not there.
Okay. So given that it's the Depression, a lot of the more prime cuts of meat are being shipped off and are being rationed. So you're kind of left with the off cuts. One of them being the tongue, and it's actually one of my absolute favorite cuts of the cow. So let's go back to the 1940s.
Oh, please.
Jeepers, it's the 1940s. Nobody's got any clams. Even I had to sell my licorice stick to a lamb down on Yancey Street. But, you know, everything's Jake, of course. People are eating stuff like goo in the moo, I tell ya. Making a dish like this, I tell you, it's pennies from heaven. No floy. And then here's your line.
I want to take a powder and go back to the present.
So times were tough back then, but shortage is often the mother of invention. These products right here, this hazelnut spread, and even cheese snacks were invented during shortages. Do you ever find that, say, shortage is helpful in comedy? Like, do you think like when you're maybe down in the dumps and you have a shortage of happiness, you often think of things or invent things to brighten your mood?
First of all, I've never experienced life otherwise, so I wouldn't be able to say like, oh, I write a lot better when I'm happy.
I like to say comfort never breeds creativity. It's a J-Dubs original.
Interesting.
So things that we do have still to cook with are water, and we have salt. So we are gonna braise this, and we're using a Dutch oven, which although they are quite expensive now, this was kind of an essential piece of cookware back then.
Slow cooker of its time.
Indeed. I'm gonna put this in the oven basically forever. Yep. So I've cooked this overnight
Of course.
in our minds,
I remember.
and I've allowed it to cool. So now it looks marginally better.
Yeah, it looks sort of like a big drumstick or shank bone or something.
Oh man, you know your cuts.
I'm Jewish.
Do you think there was a shortage of comedy in the 40s?
Well, I think there was, to some extent, like a surplus of entertainment because people would take a penny down to the moving pictures and they'd watch like these 3-hour movies, but it kept them away from their troubles.
Can you talk to me about creating difficult people and like working in your own show? Were there any sacrifices between like producer you and actor you?
They're kind of like opposite skills, acting and writing, because when you're writing, you feel really terrible and you feel great when it's done. And when you're performing, you feel really great when you're doing it. And then when it's done, you feel horrible. And then there's just also like lifestyle issues. Like when you're writing, you eat like 40,000 calories a day if you're doing it right. And then you have to get on camera and look cute, as you know. And that's a challenge. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm almost done cutting this into cubes because we're gonna make this into
What?
a dish called tongue in aspic. Because when you have a bunch of offcuts of meat, you also have a bunch of stuff that you can grind up to make gelatin.
Oh, this tiny little pot. Look
Aw.
how cute it is.
Thanks.
This could be like the hat of a toddler.
So I'm gonna ladle some of this highly flavored liquid.
So this is the brine that it created by like sitting in the oven all night.
I would say broth, but yeah. I would basically say if it's not palatable,
Okay,
that's you've approached brine territory.
I understand.
If it is palatable, you're probably in the broth neck of the woods.
Fair enough. So
Thanks.
anything I cook is brine, essentially.
So while I'm cooking up our beef gelatin,
Yes,
what would your superpower be?
I can combine situations in my mind and create a trend out of them when I'm in a bad mood.
Okay.
I can be like, oh, the post office is closed. That figures because yesterday I overslept and things are going really bad for me lately. So I can like snowball things so that they justify just me being cranky.
I see.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, I don't.
Oh. Look, this is gelatin.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna disperse it.
and this makes things gelatinous. This is like the cornstarch of like animal products.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you got a cat.
Yes, I do.
What's your cat's name?
Jimmy Jazz?
I love that name. It has hero alliteration, you know, like Peter Parker.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So if you were a superhero, would Jimmy Jazz be your sidekick? And if so, what would Jimmy Jazz's power be?
Well, first of all, I would be his sidekick. There's no question who would be the headliner. His superpower is knowing that someone's at the door.
Right.
And knocking things off of your nightstand when they're trying to wake you up.
Is Jimmy Jazz a hero or a villain? Like, where do you guys fall on this?
Oh, there's no question he's a villain. I feel like we let cats get away with murder because they're very soft. Whoa, look what's happening.
Yeah, all we have to do is chill it down.
Okay, are you gonna suspend the cubes in this? You are, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You know, my dad was actually in World War II.
Oh.
And one of the things that I thought was so miraculous is that you would be overjoyed if come Christmas, there was like an orange.
An orange.
Or
Oh yeah,
right?
I know all about the orange in the stocking.
Right.
Oh sure.
citrus fruit, a super treat. So this
Yeah.
is the most luxurious item that we're using today. So I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon zest to this, which is gonna bring some perfume to our tongue. And then I'm gonna add some parsley. And the reason I like adding parsley is because things that you could grow very easily, like in say a victory garden, were things that you could have on hand and you could actually cook with. So now I'm gonna use an old-timey telephone. Did you ever do that when you were a kid?
I did.
This thing?
Yeah. Here's a lemon and an empty can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy your day. So I'm just gonna fill this up. And this is gonna be our like lo-fi terrine mold.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
This is like a cranberry situation.
Yes. All right, let's see if I can do this without making a mess. But I added a plate.
Okay.
Yeah, stand back.
Gurgle, gurgle.
A little bit of a mess.
This is like cold cut soup right now.
Yeah. Now all I have to do is refrigerate these, plate them, and I'll see you at the table of tastes.
Is that a metaphor or?
No, it's an actual table right there.
This is a bad time to mention I'm a vegetarian.
Dum Dum Dugan to Julie. Dum Dum Dugan to Julie. Julie, do you have a code name? Over.
Oh yeah, I was thinking Red Hawk. Over.
Red Hawk, that sounds super. Here at the table of tastes, we eat the food and comment about it. Over.
Okie dokie. Over.
I'm diving in. Bon appetit. Over. I'm really enjoying this. How about you? Over.
Oh yeah, it's delicious.
Red Hawk, why is yours crunchy? Over.
I don't know, you're the one who made it.
Red Hawk, what projects are you currently working on? Over.
Well, Dum Dum, All of Difficult People is streaming on Hulu, and if you check my Twitter, you'll find out other things I'm working on and maybe see some pictures of my cat. Over.
Wonderful. Okay, Red Hawk, well, that's all we've got for Eat the Universe. Tune in next time. Over and out.